Welcome to Overtime and Inferno, your weekly roundup of all the big stories in CSGO. Quicker than it was easy for, well, FaZe. A quick reminder to rate and review us at the end of the episode. It really helps us. I'm Logan. This is Aizyesque. Let's get into it. I guess we'll start with that topic today, as FaZe did win EPL this weekend, which felt like an eternity ago.
Yeah, well, it took like over a month, right? Which is, I mean, kind of fun. There was like 4 weeks of just Counter-Strike.
Oh no, I'm just saying this. It's Wednesday, and it felt like this weekend was like 7 years ago already.
Oh right, yeah. I mean, that's life. That is.
Yeah,
we're now. Well, I'm certainly an adult. I don't know about you, but now that we're adults, like 2 days is like a week ago, and a week ago is like 2 days ago. It's mad.
I think because I can legally buy alcohol in the United States, I am technically considered an adult.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I don't know about that either. I'm not sure that actually helps.
You could buy alcohol at 18 here, and I tell you, 18-year-olds are not adults.
That's what I'm saying, in the United States.
I know, but like, I don't think we can use the age that you can buy alcohol to mean adulthood, because 18-year-olds are not adults.
So, quick thing about EPL. Basically, remember last week how we said all of the predictions that we said?
Yeah,
a large amount of them came true.
Yeah, but I think I said Na'Vi would win and probably wouldn't drop a map.
Yeah, that didn't come true.
So that one didn't come true. FaZe
Na'Vi, in fact, got 2-0'd by FaZe. Which, like, rough to see, but also FaZe has looked really, really good recently. They looked good at Kato. They looked good here. Like,
they won Katowice with JKS, and then they win this with Rain, which just proves that you could put literally anyone in this team, and it doesn't matter. Because Brokey twists Rops is just so disgusting. It basically doesn't matter who you have in the other position.
I feel like you need Carrigan as well.
Okay. I just think you could have Rain, you could have JKS, you could probably have Six there. It probably wouldn't matter. They're still gonna win.
Yeah. So, Pro League went a little bit like this. I don't know why I said a little bit. We're going with it.
It went something like this.
Something like this.
And you bust out into Wonderwall.
Yeah, so NiP beat Liquid, which everyone except for me on Liquid Copium expected. Movistar lost to Ants. Furia beat Astralis. FaZe beat Na'Vi, which was unexpected. A little more unexpected matchups, right? Of Ents beating NiP. We have been on the Ents hype train for a while, right? So they made it to the finals. They won a map in the finals. They did not. They lost 3-1. But we've been on the Ents train for a while now. We've been saying Madden has been very, very good. We've been saying that Spinks has been very, very good. And you know what? They were very, very good. There's not much I can...
Spinks kind of choked in the grand final and didn't have a great grand final at all. But I mean, again, it's against FaZe.
And it's even
Na'Vi struggled against FaZe. Like,
it's the first grand final he's been in. This is like one of the first LAN events he's been in. There wasn't a crowd, but like still, like there's
pressure.
There's pressure. There's an understandability of choking in the finals. Is like he's not very old. I think he's like 18.
He's 21.
Oh no, he's 21. Okay,
I had to look this up yesterday. So
I had to look this up yesterday. Okay.
For reasons that will become clear later.
I see. Understandable.
So the video I had to make. It's not nothing exciting.
I assumed it was probably that. But yeah. So Spinks, Diha had a really, really good tournament as well. Like, let's make sure we don't detract from people who did really well, because Diha had a very good tournament. Hades looked insane on some maps. Looked good on others. But Ents as a whole,
Ents are a strange team in that you look at their team and firepower wise, it's good, but it's not that insane. But for whatever reason, they're just nasty. Like, Snappy has just done an incredible job leading this team, because he took pieces that either were cut from other teams or were very much under the radar. I mean, like, we didn't know who Spinks was before Ents. We obviously knew of Madden, but he wasn't finding a team.
Yeah.
Hades, I didn't know of. Deher had bounced around a bit. He was known as quite a talented guy, but had never really consistently been on a good team. And
Yeah.
Snappy's taken this sort of like ragtag bunch and just turned them into just a phenomenal team. And
And to be
it's
fair,
really hard to argue that it was a fluke or anything. I mean, okay, they had the better side of the bracket, but they've
but
beaten
still,
pretty much everyone they came up against.
yeah, and to be fair, Snappy himself is part of the ragtag group because he kind of is. I mean, before
Yep.
this, what was he on? He was on Contact
He was on
before this,
Contact, yeah.
and before that, he was on Heroic. Like
Yeah.
he's also bounced around a bunch. This is kind of one of those like feel good, like everyone that was looking for a team just decided fuck it, we're going to Ants, and then they went to Ants.
Yeah.
And they're playing really well, which is good to see because there's a lot of players on here that should have a team that are playing well. And also, we're talking. We talked about Sphinx being 21. Snap is like 30 or
He's
31.
31, I
He's
think,
31, and he had a fantastic map in this.
Yeah, he does this from time to time. It's quite similar to Carrigan actually, where he'll be quiet, and then he'll just have one map where he just goes absolutely bananas. Like it's especially on the CT sides. His CT sides are really strong. He's very good at finding flanks, finding angles to get in behind people, and find these multi kills like backstabs. Like he's very good at that. Kind of similar to Alex on Fnatic. He's very good. If you give him an inch, he'll take a mile. He doesn't necessarily have great aim. Snappy's aim is probably a little bit better, to be honest. He doesn't necessarily have like amazing mechanics, but Alex is very, very good at abusing whatever space he's given. And Snappy is pretty similar. Like he will punch holes in your defense or your attack, I suppose. He'll get in behind, he'll backstab you, he'll read what's going on, and he'll use the space to his advantage, even if his mechanics aren't. They're not the greatest in the world. They're not bad, but
Yeah. So in general, from EPL, I think the number one consensus that we all thought would win was Navi. I think if you polled people that said Navi's going to lose to whoever, right? Who's going to win? I think FaZe would have been your next person for everyone. And it kind of went by the script. FaZe did win, in fact. But as much as FaZe winning is cool and all and that kind of stuff, I think basically everyone in the entire community has been we're very happy to see Ents performing really well because it means there's another team that has been really good because they were consistent across the entire event, right? And they were in an earlier group, I believe. They were in Group B. With FaZe, right? It'd been a while since they played and they came back and they still performed really, really well against Fnatic, against Movistar, against NIP.
I think
so good to see Ents.
The good thing about Ents' success is it shows how inefficient sort of a lot of teams are with roster moves and money, in that there are talented players out there. You can build teams relatively cheap. You can take young players, put them with the experienced in-game leader, and create something. And obviously that won't work for everyone. There are other teams who've tried. But it's finding that in-game leader who you think can elevate players, and it happened to be Snappy in this case, and then just sort of giving him interesting pieces to work with. But I think the big shout has to go to Spinks, who's just an absolute freak. He's absolutely amazing. He's a fantastic player.
All right, let's move over to the big event that's been happening for the last couple of days now, which is the American RMR. We talk about North America a lot on this.
Yeah,
for a podcast that we're
only half North American,
and the people we publish for is Dane. Like we do a lot of North American conversations here, but that's because they're interesting always. So RMR for North America is until Friday this week. It's Wednesday as we're recording. Asian RMR is this weekend, and European RMR will be next week, basically bringing us about a week and a half, 2 weeks away from the major itself. So we have a lot of RMRs coming up. There's not much in the way of tournaments. There's Spring Showdown for Blast, but that's really all we have coming up after this. So a lot of our time from this point on quiet blinds. A lot of our time from this point on is going to be spent with the RMRs. So we'll start with with America because that's what's going on. The teams as of right now that are going to the major are Furia, MIBR, Complexity, Imperial, Team Liquid. There are 6 spots.
The last, I thought there was 8.
There are 6 spots.
Ooh.
There's only 6. I don't. You're not the first person to say 8 today, but according
Oh
to
yeah, that is weird. There's a 6th
So
to 8th play. Oh my god. Okay.
yeah, so things are about to get exciting because 6th to 8th play-ins exist now, in which the 2 and 2. What is it? The 2 and 2 teams all
Yeah.
battle now to
Yeah.
find
So
out
there's
who
going to be
is
like
the-
the final round of the Swiss system, which will leave 3 and 2 teams, and then those 3 and 2 teams go into a decider bracket.
yeah, which I
with-
believe is Buchholz's sort like adjusted.
Oh my god, this is
Basically, it's going to be complicated, but the 6 teams that are up for being in for this last place spot are Sao Katana, Pain Gaming, Case, 9Z, Evil Geniuses, and Party Astronauts.
yeah. Yeah, they are.
Party Astronauts are still in this. So
They
teams.
are. I
so
wouldn't
from-
be surprised if they got out, but
So before we talk about that last place decider, I want to talk about the teams that didn't in fact make it through this RMR, who we will not see at the major confirmed, and that would be Leviathan, which I believe is an Argentinian team. They have
yes, they
Myron,
are, yeah.
who was on MIBR a couple years ago.
mine reversive 1962. Yeah.
Team 1, Isurus, the American favorites, Bad News Bears.
Who
Real
look awful.
sad moment to us. No, they did not look good. And then the only reason you ever cared about the American RMR of Zero Nation is out. They beat
Yeah, so
Liquid
Zero
on
Nation absolutely battered Liquid and then just lost every other game.
They
I
won.
do not understand.
Cold Zero had he just had a vendetta, man. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, and he was just like he was bad at this event. Like I don't know what happened to Cold Zero, but that guy fell off a fucking cliff.
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem like he's ever going to get it back either.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like it's been a while now. He's been on multiple different teams who've tried to get Cold Zero back out of him, and it's just not there.
Yeah.
The magic's just gone, man. I don't know.
I literally couldn't tell you, man. So we have a couple matches left in this. So today, I don't think there's any more matches today, which would be lovely. So there's no more matches today. So tomorrow, when this comes out, two matches will be being played. One will be one of those 2 and 2 matches at 5 a.m. Eastern. This we come out at 6 a.m. Eastern. The other match being played will be the MIBR Furia first place decider match. Yeah. Both teams had a 3-1 record, I believe. 3-0? 3-0 record.
Didn't drop a map.
Fury didn't drop a map. MIBR did drop a map to Imperial, but MIBR still looked really good during this tournament.
MIBR beating Imperial is like quite symbolic as well, right?
Yeah, because it's the young kids beating the old guard, right?
The team that used to be the guys they replaced essentially.
Yeah, no, because the old MIBR team left and became Oplano, and then we were like 4 iterations away. But sure, yeah, storylines.
Like I completely look, to me, MIBR hasn't existed between Fallen leaving and now.
Yeah, that's fair.
Every other team has just been a waste of time.
So, point being is that we'll get, by the end of the day on Thursday, which is tomorrow, we'll have an answer to who are 3 and 2 teams that will actually be fighting for the last spot in the major are. Friday at 5 a.m. we'll have the 8th place decider match, which will decide who plays in the 6th place decider match. And whoever plays in the 6th place decider match, the winner of that gets into the major. So, people that are able to get in that spot, again, Sal Catano, Pain, Case, Evil Geniuses, 9Z, and Party Astronauts. And yes, if you think this is way too confusing, welcome to the club.
Yeah. So, all right, of these teams, Pain got absolutely blasted by Liquid. I'm not convinced
Yes.
they're amazing. I like Big Uzira. The rest of the team, I'm not convinced on. 9Z, pretty solid, but like that team was really decent with Try, and without Try, it's like, it's fine, but like it feels like it's lacking a little bit of something.
Yeah.
Sao Caetano,
I want to give like
good.
I want to give like an honorable mention to them because they came out of nowhere and have competed at this RMR. Like, they haven't been bad. They lost Imperial. They beat up on two teams they should have beat up on, and they lost to Complexity, right? But they haven't been bad. Showtime and ZQK, I believe, were very former Luminosity players.
Yeah, it's very
like
difficult. Whenever I see a team with Showtime on it, I just don't care. And that's not because he's that bad, or it's just he's been around this sort of scene for so long. And he's just always on a really. He's kind of like. He's like South America's Freddy Frog. You see Freddy Frog on a team, and you just don't care. Like you know what their level is already. You just don't care.
Yeah. Case is actually a really interesting thing in my opinion, because Case just came together. This core is like 2 months old.
They got some fun players.
But they have really fun players because they have Fatson, they have Honda, who's just coming off of his stint on Furia. Or, well, I don't even know if it was really a stint, but the short time he was on Furia. They have Steel, who after he left Movistar when they went to an all-Spanish lineup, came back home to Brazil and is leading this
RCF,
team.
who's a maniac.
And yeah, an RCF who's a maniac. This is a fun team, and I'm actually really excited for Case in the future.
Yeah.
Because this will be a fun team to watch in like all the South American, not RMRs, but like anytime we have a South American tournament or South American Representatives, Case is fun to watch. So I'm excited for this. Honestly, don't think they make it tomorrow.
So RCF is a player who I've watched play in North American events. He was on and then he went to High Coast, which was an NA team. And he is like, he's a bit insane. The way he plays is just like, he is like, fully switches his brain off and will just fight you over and over again. It's really fun to watch because he just does not care. And then you've got Honda who looks pretty solid. I mean, he has what PGL are trying to push as like the play of the event, which is a 1v4 against Bad News Bears. And I don't know if you've seen it, but
I have in fact seen it.
What the fuck are Bad News Bears doing? There's 4 of them and none of them, they're all looking the same way and he's not there.
Yeah, I don't.
Hey, so for reference, he's playing Gandalf in a post plant on Dust 2, and 3 people, one person runs past him looking at short, and then some guy runs behind that guy also looking at short. So if the guy is short, he's going to see your teammate before, like, your teammate's going to see him before you see him. You might as well check Gandalf.
Yeah.
Because you're already looking at nothing. Like, you're not checking anything. And then I think the third guy's low HP and the fourth guy's just sticking the bomb. And it's like, one of you check the corner, please. Yeah. It's not difficult.
So, basically, we've just whittled it down. And realistically, the only teams that could probably make this last major spot that we think are Evil Geniuses and Party Astronauts.
I think there's a chance for Case or 9Z. Yeah. I'm not convinced by the other two.
I think if we were going to give out like tiers, it would be the actual for somehow it would be the 2 NA teams, then Case 9Z, then Pain Salcatano.
That would be EG smacked 9Z in a best of 1
and 00 Nation, but I don't know how much you weigh that now.
9Z beat 00 Nation, yeah. And EG beat 00 Nation. Yeah, I mean,
I don't know how much you weigh the 00 Nation thing right now, because
I don't know if you saw there was a stat going around that they won like 55% of their 4v5s, which is
A lot.
No, there's 5v4s.
Oh,
That's what I meant to say. They won
that's bad.
55% of their 5v4s. 0-0 Nation did. They
Oh,
had one of the
okay.
best. They had one of the best opening kill rates in the event, which you have Malb, so you probably should. And then they just lost from 5v4s constantly. So like beating them is like, can you prey on mistakes? Which, in fairness, in the NARMR is probably quite a useful skill, but it doesn't necessarily mean you can go further. EG, look, player wise, they're probably too good for the NARMR. But do you really trust them not to fuck it up?
No. No,
That's what I'm
I
thinking.
really, really don't. Like, they lost on Vertigo. This is I'm pretty sure this is the first Liquid picked Vertigo today against EG. I'm pretty sure this is the first time Liquid has picked Vertigo since they existed in December or whatever it was. And they crushed them 16-9. Like,
yeah.
I don't have faith. I actually have zero faith specifically.
Yeah,
that's where I'm at.
When it comes to an NA event, I'm always going to back Jonji because domestically, Jonji teams always do well. So I'm going to back Party Astronauts because Jonji teams always do well
for a variety of reasons. One, I want to see Pone alone get into a major. Guy's been grinding for so long.
Yeah,
he's like up there and like I think he's like 31. He's up there with like Snappy and stuff in like the people that have just been around for forever.
Okay, right. That's where you're going with that. I was a bit baffled.
No, people that have been around for forever. He has put so much work into the NA scene. Like 2 years ago, he was on New England Whalers. Then they went over to I don't totally remember the exact path, but he's been around for forever, and it would be sick to have him at a major. It was a high coast in between with RCF.
Yeah,
but I legitimately think this team is good. Like they have at least shown sparks of life in this event. I can't say that they've been the best team. I don't think they've not been a top 5 team. Like straight up, they haven't been. But they've definitely shown sparks of life. They definitely beat decent teams, and they took a map off Imperial. And the game this morning against Imperial, the first map was kind of close, right? Not kind of close. The first map was a harsh Party Astronauts win. The second map, the Dust 2, was kind of close. The Inferno was kind of close, right? They took it to Imperial and they lost, but they took it to Imperial the whole time. So I have faith. It's probably all NA Copium.
I think they're probably I don't know if they're the best team out of the remaining 6 because it's probably EG, but I just don't have faith that EG will actually do anything. So I kind of think I just have faith in Jonji when it comes to domestic events. He always shows up, and he's always shows that he's too good almost to be stuck at this level.
Jonji's a madman. That's all I need to say, I think, about Jonji. I watched him jump through a smoke into a molly this morning, get a kill onto Fallen, and die, and it was worth it.
Yeah. He's a crazy man.
It is beautiful. Do you have anything else you'd like to talk about in terms of the RMR? Or in general?
I don't think there's anything else in terms of the RMR. I mean, there's the EU RMR coming up.
There is a EU RMR. Plan was do that next week because it'll start next week.
Well, it starts Sunday.
It's just starting it starts on Sunday. Why are these starting so weird times, man? I don't know. Okay.
I don't know. Sunday at 10 a.m., which means I won't be catching the first game, which is
yeah.
Na'Vi versus Quasar.
So Na'Vi loses.
They either win 16-1 or they lose this. There's pretty much no in between.
Yeah.
Outsiders, I believe they now have a logo so that if they do get through, they can put it on a sticker.
I still see a question mark.
I think on the PGL announcement they had a logo. It was kind of cool.
Oh, okay. Maybe PGL made them a logo. That is possibly. In fact possible. Yeah. Asia RMR actually this weekend it will be fun if you're awake for any of the games.
Yeah, I think there was a
'Cause-
bunch of visa issues with the Asia RMR, where a bunch of teams had to pull
yeah,
out, and like now it's like LFO are there when it was
yeah,
originally
LFO.
like Lin Vision.
Yeah, it was supposed to be Lin Vision, but now LFO are there, so we get to see more of Savage, which
But
is
I think
great.
there was like two other teams in between that were meant to be there instead.
Yeah, it's a clusterfuck. Like, let's be real here, it's a clusterfuck. But one team
Yeah,
will come
there's
out
been
of
a
that.
whole
There's
lot of
four
issues.
teams there. If you want to watch Tai Lu for the first time in like 6 months, that's the vibe.
Maybe the last time.
Yeah,
We'll see.
we'll see what happens. But yeah, European RMR starts on Sunday. Uh,
Yeah.
there's very good teams in this. I'm going to be honest here. There are in fact very good teams.
Yeah, so it's split into two. The first one runs from like Sunday to Wednesday, and then the second one runs from like Wednesday to Friday or something, or Saturday.
Yeah, they weirdly don't have the second one on HLTV's major match page thing.
Yeah, they have it
I'm
on.
going to find.
So they say, oh no, sorry, the second one starts the 21st, which is
Mhm.
next Thursday.
Yeah.
God knows what the reason. But like the good teams are split up, and obviously the bad teams are also split into two. So it's like two massive groups of just chaos. I love the RMRs; they're great fun.
It'll be a fun time regardless.
And Bad News Eagles are in the second one, which
Bad News Eagles are in fact.
there's already gonna. I already know, and I'm already annoyed at it. That there's going to be some NA teams claiming, NA fans claiming they're NA because they're named after Bad News Bears. So I'm already annoyed at it.
All right, so I promise to immediately annoy you on Twitter about it.
Yeah.
Any predictions about who's going to get through? I mean, I assume the answer is, well, the good teams will get through.
Let's try. Let me just have a look, and I'll try and find.
So each of the two groups has 8 teams that get through.
Yeah, I actually kind of do fancy Bad News Eagles to get through. They've been on an absolute tear recently.
Okay,
I'm kind of excited to see them against decent teams because I have not really watched much of this team.
Right.
And they're on a tear.
That's in Group B for
yeah, that is Group B.
Group B. So let's take it group by group. So Group A, teams we think should get out. Navi.
No, yeah, probably.
Current major champions, Navi.
Outsiders almost certainly. FaZe almost certainly.
Heroic.
Now, look,
I think Heroic get out. They
probably do,
stage,
but they're a bit all over the shop. I don't know if you saw that thing about Cadian and Glaive apparently having to be split up because they were
separated,
squaring up to each other.
Potential fisticuffs.
Yeah, there was no fight, but apparently they had to be split up.
Just content, man.
So probably Heroic. I haven't watched Fours in a little while. They're half decent, but I mean, the problem is you have to choose one of Na'Vi, Outsiders, FaZe, Heroic, Vitality, Fnatic, Mouse, OG to not go through. I'm not even going to put Big in that group, honestly. I'm so bored of this team.
Well, no, I think
Fnatic I could see also
all of those
out.
can make it through. Na'Vi, Heroic, Outsiders, Vitality, FaZe, Fnatic, OG.
Yeah, but my point is, if you're going to put in a if you're gonna make a bold prediction, you have to suggest one of those isn't gonna go through.
Yeah, because
it's probably Fnatic, but
it's probably Fnatic.
If you're gonna pick one, but I mean, like, there's a world where I don't know, like Mouse or OG don't get through, or like Heroic don't get through, for example.
Yeah. So teams to watch out for. Saw's been pretty good recently.
Yeah, they're always half decent.
I'm going to put Quasar there just because I like their name and they're literally supposedly the worst team at this. And
I've literally never heard of them, so I have no idea what to expect.
Oh, I've never heard of them either, but because I've never heard of them, they have the unknown buff.
I mean, there is Eternal Fire, who are probably decent. They've been on. I think they qualified for a couple of events and were doing well. Certainly, the end of last year.
Mm-hmm. They definitely have players who have been here before and are good.
Yeah. They look like kind of an upset team, but also
I don't have much faith in the non. I don't have much faith in the not big teams from this, and I don't mean the team big. I mean the big orgs that we know here, right?
Yeah. Whereas Group B, I can more likely see some upsets.
Yeah. So let's talk about Group B while we're on the subject. Group B should theoretically, G2 should make it through. unless
You
Nico
would
decides
you
to
would
change
expect
this.
so. Yep.
Players should make it through.
You would again expect so.
NIP will have Brolin. They should
Yeah.
make it through.
In theory, yep.
Entropic should make
Yep.
it through. Ents should make it through.
Yep.
I've noted you may have noticed I skipped Copenhagen Flames on
I
this
did
list.
notice that. I was.
They probably will make it through, but they
Yeah.
start to be in the like, okay, now things are a little bit questionable point.
Yeah, like if Copenhagen Flames turned out like they were actually bad and they went out here, you'd kind of go like, oh yeah, I feel like I should have known.
Yeah, but if they're going to be really good and they
You'd be like, oh yeah, I should have known.
Yeah, I can't tell what to make of this team. I'm on the fence about Australis. They'll probably make it through because
Australis, they'll be fine.
they'll be fine. But like,
And then
I don't like,
the 8th highest rated team is Heat.
which is the that's the former double pony.
Yeah, which is like
Okay,
sure. I don't think they've ever had to experience being like a favorite to do well.
Now, the other teams of this are interesting though because there are a lot of upset teams because Sinners are here.
Yeah.
And even though they've lost Oscar was not that entire team. That team is still good. Spirit is here.
Yeah,
And
Spirit who still have Dexter.
Dexter.
So like that's still kind of scary. I mean, I don't know much about Siren, who's apparently their 5th. But Chopper, Dexter, Magix, we know they can do danger.
Patsy's Patsy's good.
Do danger.
I wasn't going to touch it, man.
Do damage is what I meant to say.
Patsy has been very good.
Yeah, he's solid.
I know nothing about Ave.
They got waterfalls.
I do know things. They have waterfalls. Yeah, I do know waterfalls. Sprout are the perennial. Maybe they take a map or two off of somebody.
Sprout are the most 1-3 team I've ever seen.
Yep, this is You're 100% right. This is a 1-3 team, and it's going to be a 1 in the second round.
Yeah, absolutely. Against like Sangol or Anonymo or something.
Yep. Speaking of Sangol and Anonymo, endpoint of Bad News Eagles. You and I just talked a little bit about Bad News Eagles being fairly good.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested. I think they are one of the most like you would not want to play if you're a good team. You don't want to play Bad News Eagles round 1. You just don't want to play them. A scary team.
I'm actually excited for endpoint because they're not a full British team anymore.
All right,
which is weird. You yourself have shit on British Counter-Strike enough, so
I mean, yeah, exactly.
But they kept their like core of Crucial and Mighty Max and Surreal. But they added another Israeli prodigy in Nerds, who we talked about a couple months ago on the podcast. And they added Boros, who's also been very good. And they are definitely an upset candidate. Yep. Like 1,000% an upset candidate. And I don't think Anonymous has snacks anymore. But
that's sad.
But that's they really do have like still very good players because they have Tudson, who we talked about almost a year and a half ago about with Mad Lions, and Innocent, who's been very good. So they do have like there's a lot of upset possibility in this group.
Look, you can't make me care about this team if it doesn't have Snacks on it. If Snacks was here, Snacks was here, I'd be rooting for him. I love Snacks. I miss him.
I agree 1,000,000%, but I'm tempering expectations.
There's a guy on Sangol who I played with in a fan event. There was we had like a fan league between like fans of teams.
Yeah, I remember we had a fan league.
So we had a guy called Tones who he actually went pro and was playing for a Danish team. I can't remember which, but I think he retired like really early to go do something else. But he couldn't play for it, and he said, "Oh, my mate's going to stand in for me."
It was Sensi, wasn't it?
And his mate is Sensi, who's now playing in the EU RMR. So he was probably a little bit good for that event. I mean, he was ridiculous, and he's now playing at this event. So, look, all I'm saying is, if he top frags against somebody decent, then it's like, all right, he definitely shouldn't have stood in for us.
Yeah.
If he bottom frags, it's like, all right, maybe he's not actually that good. It's fine.
Sangol's been okay recently. They beat up on a lot of teams that are definitely worse than them and lose to teams that are better than them. A lot of these teams that we just talked about are definitely teams that shouldn't make it through. but are going to make the lives of everyone above them hard.
Yeah, but I think Bad News Eagles are the perfect example of that, where it's like they probably won't get through.
Yeah,
but it's going to be a battle to beat them. That's certainly how I think of it. Like, I think they're going to make it really difficult for anyone good.
I also have another comment that I really want to make here, which is, I believe, if my math is correct, which it almost certainly isn't, because my math is never correct. If either Bad News Eagles or Party Astronauts get through, we will see the first non-org funded teams in the major.
Which means they'll get even more money.
Yeah.
Because the org won't take a cut.
Correct. But not just that. Like, it'll be interesting to see a team that is literally like, during the major, someone can walk up to them and go, "Hi, I would like to pay your salaries."
If I'm them, I'd wait until after the sticker money.
I'd agree.
There's no way I'm signing a deal until after the sticker money.
Do you remember? I think it was 2019. ESL.
I remember 2019.
ESL 1 New York.
Was that the one?
That was the one where NRG was in the event up until the day of the event, in which NRG revealed, "Hi, we're selling your team to EG," and they had to like make EG jerseys really quick so that way the team could wear EG jerseys on stage, because they were not prepared because like the buyout was happening like right before the tournament happened. So I think it was like first round of the tournament they were NRG, and everything after that EG.
Right. Okay. I don't recall that happening.
That it was the thing, I swear.
Right.
But I find that I find that interesting. But B, I think that kind of thing could actually very well happen if either of these teams do make their, which is cool. Like these guys have grinded hard, and let's see if they can get through to the pinnacle of Counter-Strike or something like that.
If EG are there, it's not the pinnacle.
All right, and on that, we're gonna finish up for the week. Make sure to follow us on YouTube and follow us on Twitter at Logan Ramhap, at Aizyesque, and at ReadTLDR. We'll be back in next week where we'll know who's going to the major from America. We'll know who's going to the major from Asia, and all we have to decide is who is going to the major from Europe.
Hell yeah.